It still feels kind of surreal to think that this is going away at the end of next month. It breaks my heart, to be honest. Hey, what's up? Your boy Dynasty back with another Xbox 360 update for you guys, because it's been like, I want to say 2 weeks since we discussed the over 140 games currently on sale on the Xbox Live Marketplace. In case you missed it, pretty much, Microsoft is closing the 360 store at the end of July, so because of that, they've already had not one, but 2 different waves of sales. Again, it's like 140 plus games on sale. If you missed my video, I'll have a card on the screen right now. There is a 3rd wave dropping in the middle of July, so time is ticking. That's only, I think it's like 2 weeks from now. It's like around the 14th or so. Might be like the 17th. I don't know. It's the middle of July, but a couple of days after my last video, Activision actually dropped 7 games on sale on the store, and nobody really talked about it outside of TrueAchievements, so I figure, hey, until we get into the final wave dropping in a few weeks, I should probably let you guys know about these games that are on sale. Now, truth be told, a lot of these games are going for the same price you could buy them on, you know, like a physical, but there's one game in particular that I think is probably worth grabbing that I actually don't have. I have 5 of the 7. One's a Kinect game, so does that count? This last one, it's going for upwards of like $60, and though people say it's a really bad game, it's from a franchise that me and you are probably really familiar with. So if you're excited for me discussing these 7 games that went under the radar with the sell, do your boy solid. It takes you a second, drop a like on it. Having a lot of fun deep diving over the past few months back into my Xbox 360 catalog. Seems like every day I'm getting a new 360 game in the mail because the FOMO hit me pretty good. And eventually I'll have a whole showcase of everything I've bought in lately. And I'm closing in on 300 games. It's insane. So I love you guys. Hopefully this helps you out. And with that said, let's see what games Activision dropped on sale. Would you look at that? That purple dragon's quite familiar. So first things first, a massive thank you to TrueAchievements.com for making this process super simple, super easy. If you guys watched my last Xbox 360 video, you know I referenced this website because the way they have it set up, essentially you click on the game on sale from their website and it takes you directly to the Xbox.com page for that game, where you can buy that game through your computer, your PC, without having to actually go onto the hardware and buy it through the Xbox 360 store with like a controller and all that stuff. So the whole process is just super simple and super easy because of them. But a few days ago, they came out and shared this article right here. It says Microsoft quietly discounts some non-backwards compatible Xbox 360 Activision games. Like I mentioned, it's a grand total of 7. One's a Kinect game, and I have 5 of these, and well, I'm missing the big purple dragon. So let's make our way down here to the list of games. Starting things off, we get Singularity, Blood Drive, Legend of Spyro, The Dawn of the Dragon, Gun, Big League Sports, which is the Kinect game, which you can get for like $5 all day on eBay, Prototype 2, and Prototype 1. So honestly, every single one of these games, apart from the Kinect game, I gotta say, pretty solid. I know Legend of Spyro is one of those games that's, people like to shit on this game. And it's funny because that game is honestly the biggest savings. I think right now on eBay, this game's going for, I want to say upwards of $60. I want to say it's like 40 to 65 is kind of where it's at. And in canon, that is the last Spyro game in the series. Up until recently, obviously, you had like the remasters. But when it came to the actual story, that is the last real Spyro game before they started doing remakes. So kind of worth noting. Again, the actual gameplay just always gets knocked. I know for me, it's one of those games I want to own physically, but for $10, I might just pick it up instead of paying 50, 60, 70 in a few months for a game that people universally thinks sucks. I know for me though, I'm a diehard Spyro fan. I grew up playing on the PS1. It's kind of tough to not own the physical, but for $10, I do think that's probably something you should check out. It's the only game apart from the Kinect game that I don't have the physical of. So it's pretty rare. It's pretty expensive. For $10, I know it sucks, but I think you could probably squeeze some value out of that game. Now, making our way up to the top here, Singularity. This game is awesome. It's got a pretty interesting premise. I guess you could say it's like a survival horror first-person shooter. It's made by Raven Software, so before I started doing Call of Duty, pretty good game. Essentially, you have like this I don't want to spoil it too much. You have the ability to use like your hand, and you can go back and kind of go back in time. It's an interesting concept. It reminds me a lot of like BioShock 1, BioShock 2. I've played about 3 hours of it, been enjoying it a lot lately. It's on sale for $15 on the store, which honestly isn't that bad of a price, but if you actually do the work and go on eBay, you could probably get the physical copy like me for about $13. Over the past, I want to say month and a half, I've seen this go from like $10 to upwards of $30. Honestly, I'd say it's a hidden gem. I'd honestly say that. It's a really good fucking game. You're killing crazy creatures, crazy Russians. It's got a nice mix of everything, so I like it. I've been liking it a lot. Again, I've only played like 3 hours, but it really did surprise me, and it's kind of funny because during that time, a lot of these games got really overlooked, and I do think this is one of those games that got overlooked, and now looking back on it, I do think it kind of is standing the test of time because I can pick this up and really still have fun with it. So $15 on sale digitally if you don't like physical copies, which I don't understand why you're even watching this, because clearly you're a collector if you're watching this trying to save some money. I would just try to get the physical because I think the game is worth the physical, but hey, if you don't want to store the game yourself in your physical collection for $15, that's not a bad price. Now, next up we have Blood Drive, which I'd also say is a hidden gem. I actually just got this in the mail this morning. And I think I paid $20, but it's going for upwards of maybe like $40 at times. It's increasingly getting a bit harder to come across at a decent price, and essentially it's in the same vein of like a Twisted Metal, yet you have zombies thrown into the mix. So you're trying to kill other cars that are going up against you, and then you have zombies. There's blood on the screen. Again, I've not played it yet, but I've watched gameplay for a few months. Just look at the back of the box. Sorry, I probably have some gameplay planned right now to give you an idea. It's one of those unique games, again, kind of flew under the radar, but over the past few weeks, months, with the whole Xbox 360 FOMO, I'm seeing this kind of get a little pricey. Again, I've seen it sell brand new for like $50, $55. I'm seeing it used complete in box at times for like $38. I paid around $20 or so. I do think at $15, it's a fair price. I've not played it yet, so I can't give you a full opinion. But from what I can tell, I do think that if you don't want to pay $30 in maybe a month and a half or so when FOMO gets even worse, $15 is probably a pretty solid price. Making our way to Gun. Now, Gun is a game I played back on the PlayStation 2. I want to say I picked this up for about $13 maybe 2 weeks ago because it's one of those games I've always wanted to have on the 360, but because I already have it on the PS2, never really felt the reason to buy it twice. But with FOMO being a thing, I couldn't really pass it up when I saw it for like $13 complete in box. Essentially, it's, in my opinion, Red Dead Redemption before Red Dead Redemption. So if you enjoyed Red Dead Redemption, I do think you should probably pick this up. It's made by Neversoft, published by Activision. It's honestly a game that I wish would come back because I remember playing this, having a lot of fun growing up as a kid. I'm not mistaken, this is one of those games that I think my grandma at the time, she sat down and watched me beat the whole game in like one afternoon. You know, I think it's like a 7-hour campaign. She sat there and she thought it was like a John Wayne movie. So if you're into stuff like that, Gun is worth picking up for $10. Again, not the biggest savings because you can probably get the physical for around $15 typically all day, but regardless, it's on sale and I do think it's a pretty good game. Then we get to arguably some of my favorite games ever made. This game right here is probably in my top 10 all time. If you've never played Prototype, essentially it's Venom. You are Venom in the Mortal Kombat fake character Chrome all in one with a mix of the Incredible Hulk. You got zombies, you got crazy military, you got stealth. It's amazing. I'm sure by now you've probably heard of Prototype. If you've never given it a chance, I mean, for $6, it's pretty fair. I want to say I bought this, man, years ago. I bought this a long time ago. Back, I think it was like $30, but I did a quick Google search real quick. It's going for still like $10 all day, complete in box. So you're saving like $5 in comparison to like an eBay price, and you're getting a game that I do think actually stands the test of time. I know last summer, I didn't realize this, they did like a re-release on the Xbox One. I paid like $45 and it's like a double pack with Prototype 1, Prototype 2. And I was kind of shocked to see how expensive it was. I actually had to order it through GameStop because I couldn't find a copy that was decently priced on eBay. The actual OG ones though on the 360 are still relatively cheap, but the HD upscale versions on the Xbox One that generation, still going for like 55, 60 bucks. So if you don't want to pay that much money, for $6, you're getting a pretty damn good game that I do think stands the test of time. Again, I played this game last summer all over again for the first time in like a decade, and it really did just still remind me of how much I loved the Prototype franchise. I wish it would come back. So $6 isn't too bad, but I would rather just pay the extra $5 to $10 and get the complete in-box physical, at least on the 360 if you don't want to pay like the $55 for the double pack on last gen. But strongly suggest, if you've never played Prototype, please do. As for Prototype 2, it's a game that I've actually not finished, funny enough, because I love the first one so much. I wanted to give like my undivided attention to Prototype 2. I want to say I'm like maybe 3 hours in. The exact same gameplay more or less, but the spoiler talk, the good guy in the first game is now the bad guy in the second game. And for like a continuity aspect, it kind of pissed me off because I became so attached to Alex Mercer in the first game. So to see him represented as somebody that wasn't really the good guy just kind of broke my heart. Not to say that Prototype 2 isn't bad, because again, I was just actually enjoying my time playing it. I was actually streaming it, but again, for $9, it's not that bad for a digital price. I do say you should probably, just like the first game, just buy the physical, because I think it goes for just like 15 bucks as well. Again, the actual double packs are really pricey, but if you just buy the games individually on the Xbox 360 physically, they're still relatively cheap. But hey, $9 isn't the biggest purchase, and at least you'll always have it digitally if you're into that. Truth be told, guys, you can't go wrong with either of these games. This one really did surprise me. I was playing this again just like maybe 2 weeks ago and really having a lot of fun with it. I'm really looking forward to playing this, but I literally just got it in the mail this morning. Again, I've played this game, beat it, and really had a lot of fun when I was a kid. And these two games, I mean, come on, dude. If you like the first Prototype, you're gonna like Prototype 2. If you've never played a game like this, you are doing yourself a disservice. And obviously, the big one is the Spyro game, which I don't have. It's always just escaped me. And I think for $10 in comparison to paying like upwards of $60 for that game, with it being a quote-unquote bad game, you really can't beat that price. So I know a lot of these games aren't the biggest when it comes to like actual sales in comparison to physical media, but that could change. Once they close the store, that could change. Those prices could skyrocket, because all these games are honestly hidden gems that I would say probably deserve a spot in your Xbox 360 collection, hence why I own them physically. I want them forever. So yeah, I hope this does help you out. I want to say this dropped like 5 or 6 days ago, and I've been meaning to talk about it, but I just haven't had the time with all the Mortal Kombat 1 stuff going on lately. So thankfully now today, can actually upload this video, maybe help you guys out again. If you're still having issues buying off of the official website and the Xbox 360 store with the physical controller, you're not alone. I'm still having those issues. Hopefully these sales do not disappear and these games do not get delisted. I feel like some of the games from my last video are already getting delisted depending on your region. So I'm hoping it gets fixed, because I gotta buy that fucking Tornado game, and I definitely gotta buy Legend of Spyro and 99 Nights 2. So those are the ones that I really gotta buy, but I can't figure out this damn whole issue. From what I'm gathering though, the best way to actually purchase these games if you're having like errors is by buying like the $25 gift cards, the $50 gift cards, redeeming those cards off of like the actual website through your PC, and then when you load up your Xbox 360, you should have that credit to your account. Then when you go to purchase it, it'll just be smooth sailing. I haven't tried it yet because I haven't had the time, honestly. So if you guys are having issues, that seems to be a nice workaround for the time being. So there you go. Hopefully this helped you out. If you enjoyed this video, do me a solid. It takes you a second. Drop a like on it, of course. Subscribe to some more Xbox content like this on the channel. Till next time, been your host, been Dynasty. Guys, please take care, stay safe. I love ya, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
On it, crack, but